Hello, my lovelies. I just want to get something straight with you, for all of us. So, when we talk about like dark feminine, we're not talking about toxic feminine. Okay? Like, I think a lot of people get confused about this. And I know it's something that when I've really tuned in with, it makes total sense. And sometimes on the surface, we're talking about two different things. Let me illustrate for you. The dark feminine is really alchemical marriage of someone being in their total feminine power, total masculine power, and that weaving and wrapping and becoming inner alchemical marriage. So dark feminine, when we say that, looks like Shakira dancing with her knives, looks like Kali, looks like Lilith, looks like Persephone. It's a powerful woman who's not afraid to show those dark emotions that we had previously been conditioned to not engage in. And those are basically like, if you really look at it, those are the same emotions that men are allowed to feel. Men are allowed to be egocentric, me first. Not a bad thing. A way we survive. Men are allowed to have rage and anger and wrath even. Like, that's tipping a bit towards toxic, but rage and anger are totally normal, healthy emotions. If you're not fucking pissed about your tax dollars going to fund war, come on. Like, what are you swallowing? Or what are you not hearing? What are you blocking? Let's see, what else do we have? Pride, being able to brag on yourself and actually stand in your power. Control. We all need control. How else would I not be in the closet with a bag of marshmallows every single night being an insane gremlin? Because I have a bit of control and willpower, right? Those are all dark feminine qualities, aka an inner alchemy of masculine and feminine qualities. Okay, now let's look at the other thing, which is toxic feminine. This is pure femininity in its conditioning and in its need to get its needs met, but in a subversive way. This is like how we've had to do it, over the past few millennia. It's basically manipulation through guilt. It is steal your man energy. It's competing against other women. I hope that as you're tuning into these vibrations, like, you feel the difference. Like, one feels good, even though it might feel scary. And the toxic, like, it feels icky to think about, right? It feels icky to notice the times that you've used those tactics. Ugh, it's gatekeeping other women from sacred knowledge. It's mothering for codependent gain. Yeah. That's toxic. And I want you to see, like, that's not dark feminine. If you're doing dark feminine work and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna show up like manipulative and like, fuck that bitch, I'm gonna ruin her life. Like, no, this is not being in your power. Jokes. Fucking jokes. That's toxic. That's sickness. You're showing, like, you're literally spewing the cultural sickness. Showing up in your dark feminine just means showing the parts that we've been taught not to. Showing up in your toxic feminine means trying to go around the back door to what you could have in your dark feminine through toxic ways. I understand, like, we've all been through a lot in our lives. And I understand that this work hurts and sucks because you have to look in the mirror and see all those places where you've shown up toxically and where you still are. And maybe where some of the people that you've loved are showing up that way for you now. And it can be harsh, right? Like that part can hurt. And when you tune into the frequency of being in your power and knowing the only person you can control is you, and you're allowed to have boundaries, you're allowed to be direct, speak for what you want, you're allowed to say, I don't want that, exit the premises, thank you so much, you're not invited back, with no apology, then you're clear. And that's including our own traits, right? Okay. I feel like this message has been transmitted, and I feel like we can be in agreement here that your toxic femininity is not awakened dark feminine. Don't get it twisted.